I have the distinct honor next of introducing the new United States Department of Education Secretary, someone who has been a leader, who's been a teacher. We talked earlier today. His father and my father were both teachers, became principals. He has family genes in education. He's got it in the blood, and he is just an incredible dynamic leader. President Obama, when he just a few days ago made the announcement of the appointment of Dr. King to be the new U.S. Secretary, he called him an exceptional, talented educator. He has worked long and hard in education in many levels, and he's no stranger to struggles personally or in his job in bringing higher quality education to the state of New York and the nation. He's overcome poverty. He understands where our students are. He brings a continued commitment to advancing excellence and equity for every student and supporting the educators along the way. Please give a warm welcome to our new United States Secretary of Education, John King.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Tom, for that kind introduction. I'm grateful to Tom for his leadership on behalf of Education for the Whole Child, and appreciate Tom's leadership in ensuring that every student in California has the opportunity to graduate ready for college and career success. Grateful for the opportunity to join CABE for today's conversation. Appreciate the leadership of Carling and Jan and the CABE board, and the commitment that CABE has lived over many years to ensure that we advance biliteracy and multiliteracy for all students. CABE's record in launching the Seal of Biliteracy here in California, which we then replicated in New York, CABE's commitment to the leadership development of teachers, of principals, and school board members is a critical effort and a testament to the strength of commitment in this room to bilingual education. As a former high school social studies teacher, I like to put conversations in historical context. And I think it's important to take a moment to celebrate the transformation in the conversation around bilingual education over the last decade, thanks in no small part to the leadership of folks in this room. One need look back only 10 or 15 years ago to see many folks making the wrong-headed assumption that students speaking a language other than English at home was a deficit, an obstacle, a problem to be fixed. But we've shifted. Thanks to the work of folks in this room, the conversation has shifted. And we now have a better appreciation, I think, not only here in California, but across the country, that bilingualism is an asset. Having the ability to speak multiple languages is a strength, an asset to be leveraged on behalf of student success. We have a growing body of research that makes clear that students who are bilingual have advantages not only in their literacy development, but advantages in the development of problem-solving skills and other areas of cognition. What we see now is that bilingualism is a gift that we can give to our students and to our communities. And that is a powerful shift in our historical perspective on bilingualism. We also understand, I think, better today the importance of bilingual education to students' understanding of self and community. Nelson Mandela once said, "If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart." It's a powerful statement. If we give students the gift of bilingualism, of multilingualism, if we give students the gift of those skills and those opportunities, they have a better sense of themselves, their community, their future, and a better appreciation for our diversity as a country. As Tom said, we aspire to a day when every child has the opportunity to be bilingual or multilingual. And we have much work to do to pursue that goal. We know that our competitiveness as a country depends in part on advancing that goal. A recent survey of California employers showed that a majority of employers across all sectors, small businesses, large businesses, want and prefer bilingual employees. We know that our international competitors often do a significantly better job of preparing bilingual students. And so we've got work to do as a country to ensure that we embrace biliteracy and multiliteracy. We also have work to do to ensure that our students who are English learners, who do not speak English at home as their first language at home, have the full range of opportunities. And in too many places across the country, English learners get less access to quality teachers, less access to advanced coursework, less access to the resources they need to succeed. And that is a reality we must change together. We do have a new opportunity with the Every Student Succeeds Act to move closer to a reality where all students get access to the full range of opportunity. But we have to approach that work with urgency. A new law only creates an opportunity. We have to seize that moment with making the right policy decisions, with strong engagement of stakeholders. And I take that as a deep and important charge for the department. The President signed the Every Student Succeeds Act because he believes it advances the civil rights legacy of that law. Again, worth putting in historical context, that the Every Student Succeeds Act is a reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965. It was adopted as a civil rights law. It has to be viewed in the context of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Lyndon Johnson signed the Elementary and Secondary Education Act because he believed, as a former teacher, he believed that education was our path to equality of opportunity in this country. The President signed the law because he believes we have an opportunity to advance that vision with this new law. And for me, this is deeply personal. I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Brooklyn. Went to PS 276 in Canarsie. When I was 8, my mom passed away. October of my 4th grade year. I lived with my dad, who was quite sick with Alzheimer's disease, but it was undiagnosed, and so I didn't know what home was going to be like from one night to the next. I can recall a night when my father woke me up at 2 in the morning and says, "Time to go to school." And I remember clinging to the banister of the staircase in our house and saying, "No, Daddy, it's not time to go to school. It's not time to go to school. It's the middle of the night." I didn't understand why he was acting that way. I didn't understand what was causing that. And that was how home was. It was this unpredictable, scary place. But school was amazing. School was this place that was engaging and interesting and compelling, where New York City public school teachers saw in me opportunity and hope. They could have looked at me and said, here's an African-American, Latino young man growing up in New York City in a public school with a family in crisis. What chance does he have? They could have given up on me. But instead, they chose to invest in me, to see hope and possibility. And it's because they did, because they created classroom environments where I learned about a world beyond Canarsie, Brooklyn, because we went to the museum and to the ballet, because we did productions of Shakespeare, because we memorized the leader and capital of every country in the world and read the New York Times every day in elementary school. Because they created this compelling, interesting place in school, I'm alive today. I became a teacher and principal to try to do what they did for me, for other kids. That is our shared obligation. So as we approach implementing this law, we have to do it with that spirit. It does give us new tools. It gives us an opportunity to broaden the definition of educational excellence. Yes, we need students who have strong literacy skills. Yes, we need students who have strong math skills. But yes, we want all students to have the gift of biliteracy or multiliteracy. Yes, we want all students to have science and social studies and art and music and the opportunity to develop socio-emotional skills. Right? Yes, we want a broader definition of educational excellence. We want every student to have access to advanced placement courses and international baccalaureate courses, to be on the path to college and career success. And so we have an opportunity, if we seize it, to broaden that definition of educational excellence. We also have an opportunity to rethink interventions in schools that are struggling. One of the problems of No Child Left Behind was a one-size-fits-all response to struggling schools, often disconnected to the actual struggles within the school building. And we know that where we have schools with significant populations of English learners and teachers who need professional development and support, who need colleagues who have experience working successfully with English learners to develop strong bilingual students, we need those teachers brought to those schools that are struggling. We need time for collaboration for the educators in that school to figure out how to best support their students. We need interventions that make sense to meet the needs of students. California has the opportunity to have exactly that conversation. As we do that, we must focus on the notion that our educators are our best path to educational success, what defines a quality education. Our strong teachers and strong principals. And we've got to invest in our teachers and principals. And Tom talked about the importance of this. We've got to make sure that we invest in our teachers and our principals having salaries that allow them to have successful lives. We've got to make sure that when we think about teacher preparation, that all teachers are prepared to work effectively with English learners. Not just the bilingual teachers or the ESOL teachers, all teachers need those skills. We need to make sure that we have more bilingual teachers at every level. Particularly, I worry that in our high schools, often we do not have the bilingual subject area teachers that we need. And we need to increase our teacher diversity. Today in the United States, a majority of the students in our schools are students of color. But only 18% of our teachers are teachers of color. We have to do more to ensure diversity amongst our teachers and principals. The President proposed in his 2017 budget investments aligned to these very goals. Investments in early learning, which we know is so critical, and an opportunity in early learning to pay attention to the dual language learning opportunity from the earliest years. Right? How do we move forward as a country to ensure our long-term success? We invest early. We know there's an 8-to-1, 9-to-1 return on investment for every dollar invested in quality early learning. The President's proposed a path to universal preschool in the United States, and we need to move down that path. The President has proposed increasing Title III funding because we know our schools need more resources to support our diverse learners. The President has proposed investing in projects to support our Native youth. We know that too many of our Native young people do not see hope for their future, and that one of the ways we can ensure that they have a sense of hope is to create school environments that support cultural competence on the part of educators, that leverage students' native language in support of their long-term learning. President's proposed an investment in teacher and principal preparation to make sure we have that pipeline of bilingual teachers that we need. The President's proposed an initiative called Respect, Best Job in the World, to invest $1 billion in making sure that teaching in our highest needs schools is the best job in the world and has the compensation and opportunities for professional development that are needed. The President's proposed an initiative called Stronger Together, which asks us as a country to confront the reality that 60 years after Brown versus Board of Education, we have communities where the schools are more segregated today than they were a decade or 2 decades ago. With the Stronger Together initiative, we would invest in initiatives that would draw students across neighborhoods, across districts together, because we are stronger together. One of the ways that we can advance this Stronger Together vision is through dual language schools. We know that dual language schools are demonstrating great outcomes for students. A multi-year study of dual language programs in North Carolina showed that for all students, for students who spoke English at home and students who spoke languages other than English at home, not only did they have the benefit of learning both languages, but their academic outcomes were stronger. And so this Stronger Together initiative would create a pathway to investing in more dual language schools. Presidents also proposed an initiative around teacher loan forgiveness to say that if you commit, if you commit to teach in a high-needs school, we ought to make sure that your higher education is affordable and that you are not saddled with debt that you can't repay. And President's proposed $10,000 in loan forgiveness and up to $25,000 for those who go to a highly effective teacher preparation program, because we want to invest in our educators. The President has also proposed, importantly, America's College Promise, the idea that for all students, we ought to commit that for every hardworking student in the United States, they should know that the first 2 years of either community college or attending a historically black college or university or a minority-serving institution, Hispanic-serving institution, will be free for hardworking students. And we've got to make sure that we focus our higher education institutions not just on enrolling low-income students, but on supporting students through to graduation. And so as we move forward, the President is committed, deeply committed, to ensuring that we deliver on the promise of equality of opportunity through education. And we have to work with Congress to advance many of these proposals, and that can sometimes be challenging. But the Every Student Succeed Act passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, and I think we have an opportunity to build on that bipartisan momentum. And we have an opportunity to build on the bipartisan consensus around the importance of early learning, the critical role of our K-12 education system in our long-term economic future, and the role that higher education plays as a pathway to opportunity and a pathway to the middle class for those who are struggling economically. As we do that work, we have to acknowledge that our work as educators intersects with other areas of our students' lives, that our schools are embedded in communities. Earlier today, I was in East Palo Alto meeting with folks talking about the importance of connecting health and schools. We know that for many of our students, if they don't have access to quality health care, quality mental health services, quality dental care, glasses, that gets in the way of learning. And so today is actually the anniversary of the Affordable Care Act. We've made, that's right, it's an important anniversary. We've made important progress as a country towards expanding healthcare access, but we've got to make sure that our young people in schools have access to quality healthcare so that they can succeed academically. We've got to make sure that community-based organizations have the opportunity to partner with schools to support students' needs after school, in the summer, to provide services to families, including engaging particularly the families of our English learners, making sure that schools have not only translators, but staff in the school who speak the language of the kids of the community so that parents and schools can work together for the success of their children. And we've got to make sure we do a better job as a country, ensuring that every school welcomes all of our children, including our students who are undocumented. One of the challenges that we face around the country, and California has been more progressive about this than many other states. Every child has the right to a high-quality education, regardless of immigration status. And we've got to make sure that our young people understand that regardless of their immigration status, higher education is possible for them. And again, California is ahead of the rest of the country in this, but we've got more work to do here and across the country in ensuring that every child in our community has the opportunity to get a high-quality K-12 education and go on to success in college and careers. So we have tremendous opportunities, and we have tremendous challenges. We know that too many of our students drop out of high school. Too many of our students get to college and are told, no, you have to go to a remedial class. You go down the hall, and remedial class is a euphemism for high school. Right? You're in college, but we're going to make you take a high school class for which you and your family are going to pay college prices. We have tremendous challenges as a country, but there is nothing wrong that can't be fixed by what's right. And CABE is a room of people who are about what is right in American education. And so together, I hope that we can work to ensure that we move towards a vision of biliteracy and multiliteracy for every child, that we move towards a vision of college and career readiness for every child, and that we fulfill America's promise of equality of opportunity for all. It's an honor to be with you. It's an honor to do this work together. Onward. Thank you.